I'm Jenny Fish with One Big Happy Yarn Company, and welcome to episode 2 of the Daisy Mae pocket scarf. So if you've already checked out episode 1, welcome back. If not, you may want to go check it out. We are making this amazing textured pocket scarf. So we're knitting, building in the pockets, and then seaming them up at the end, and then with this amazing little texture right here. In episode 1, we went ahead and cast on. We worked pocket 1 and got started on the main section. You'll go ahead and finish that main section up. There's 50 repeats of the little star pattern. And then you're ready to start the second pocket. Just a brief overview. I have my little sample here. We want to make this very long eye-shaped design. So these are going to be our little pockets that we fold up and seam in. We work the main section. I had it upside down. Those are our little star patterns. So these will fold over and seam all the way through. Now, you should be right about here. We are ready to add the extra stitches to form the top of the eye, which is the second pocket. So, in your pattern, it'll say finish up and then cut yarn. So I've cut my yarn. That's done. Now I need to add stitches. Well, to add stitches, I'm just going to go ahead and cast on. In your pattern, it'll say cast on 26 stitches. You cast on your stitches. Now I'm using circular needles. If you're using the regular straight needles, you can just cast onto the needle that you have open, your right needle. For me, it's just the other side of my circular needle. And we just go ahead and cast on those stitches. Leave long tails in everything that you're doing in this project. I've said it before. Leave a long tail. We're going to come back and use those tails to seam up our project in the end, and it's just easier when it's already there because you have to weave in your ends anyway. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and for me right now, I'm just going to cast on 4 stitches. Like I said, you'll have 26 stitches that you'll cast on. I just did a long tail cast on, and then after I've cast on those stitches, you just start knitting right into your project. Make sure I'm using my active yarn and not one of my tails. And there are a lot of tails in here, so feel free to go ahead and put like a little slip knot in there so that you don't accidentally grab that yarn and knit with it. That you are knitting from your active yarn ball. See how I just started knitting? It's just like joining yarn. So I've cast those stitches on and then knit. Then you go ahead and you work through your daisy stitch pattern. Get over to the other side. And then I need to add stitches to the other side as well to get that other little tab started. So I'm working through my middle stitches, sliding my stitch marker over. And now I want to add stitches here. Now for here, it's really knitter's choice on how you want to do this. You can do a backward loop cast on, which is a real simple, you do a little cross over your finger and slide it on like that. Just like that. For me, for this project, I just turned my work around and did a knitted cast on. I like the structure of the knitted cast on. It has, it just has that extra stitch at the bottom to keep your stitches more consistent. So I just knit into it, flip it around, slide it on until I have the extra 4 stitches. Now, if you do flip it over and do the knitted cast on, you don't flip over again to start the next row. You've already got the next row facing you. So that does get a little confusing. Keep that in mind. If you're doing the backwards loop cast on, after you've cast those stitches on, then you turn to work the next row. Okay, so I've got those stitches cast on. I'm doing garter stitch again because we're working on that little tab area. Work that garter stitch all the way through. I still work my center stitches in the daisy stitch pattern. And you do that for, let's see, 2 repeats of the daisy stitch. The pattern will give you the row count on there. Once you've worked that thickness, then you go back down to 4 on each side. It'll tell you when to move your stitch marker in the pattern. Once you move your stitch marker, then you just go back to your daisy stitch pattern until you're ready to bind off. Bind off all of your stitches, and then I will show you how we seam up the pockets. Okay, so I'm back to my little sample here. We are going to turn this eye into a magnificent pocket scarf. All these tails that I've told you to keep out, they come in handy. Okay, remember that I told you the right side of the fabric has little stars. The wrong side of the fabric's where you do all the magic. So I want the wrong side facing me. I want the right side down. So my stars are facing down, so I've got the wrong side facing me. Now we're ready to fold and sew. And like I said, you have really long tails. I purposely planned these tails. Actually, it just worked out that way, and I was like, that works. That's great. Okay, so I'm folding this side over, and I'm going to use this tail to seam this down. Super simple. And there's a diagram in the pattern too. And if it's backwards, just you can flip it and then it'll be the opposite way. So slide it up to the diagram. Okay. Super simple. I do want to show you some of the steps in seaming on how I did this. This is garter. I've got all of these little bumps or beads on the edge here. And for me, I just went through and then through the garter bump on that side, and it just kind of just invisible. It just went right into the work as if it was meant to be. I kind of kept it a little loose. I didn't want it to cinch up. I want it to lay flat and even with the other side. But see how I'm just kind of going under the purl bumps, and then boom. Just like that, and that side was seamed up. Then I brought this side over, lined it up with the edge there, and look, another tail just happens to be there. I'm going to use that. Okay, so I got that thread. I do the same thing here. I just went through that purl bump, through, actually, I'm going to turn it this way. It makes more sense in my brain. Go through there. Go through there, here, and if you can't really see where it's at, sometimes you got to really move things around, but I really want that purl bump there, here, there we go. I'm at the end, so I've got another long tail here, so I'm going to push this, make it look even. Look, just be sure that you look at everything. Make sure it's all in the right place. Again. Take that. And then for this, and I know I'm leaving these out. I haven't wove these tails in afterwards. I just want to make sure everything is nice and loose and in the right place before I secure those ends. Then I just whip stitched the bottom. And whip stitches, I just go round and round, or over, just like that. And I seamed all of these and wove in my ends and did all of that before I blocked it. It just, I had it all right there. I couldn't wait to see how it looked. So I seamed everything up and then blocked it. You can do it either way, whichever works best for you. I was just super excited to make these pockets. Just all the way across the bottom. Just like that. And I have my little pocket, just like that. So check out these pockets. Look at the pretty texture and then the hidden pockets. This is how I like to wear it, like this. Because I like it over my arms like that because I don't like my arms to get chilled. But then you can also take one pocket, tuck it into the other pocket, and it just kind of holds there for you like a cow. So this is the Daisy Mae pocket scarf. Thank you so much for joining me for this knit along. Don't forget, you can get the kit that has the pattern and all the yarn you need at onebighappy.com. Thank you so much and happy knitting.